The first day of school is creeping up on families as students get ready for class, but some may be feeling stressed out just thinking about the first day.
Yeah, back to school anxiety, it's a real thing, and for many it's mild and just evaporates as the confidence comes upon you. But for others, it really can be paralyzing, leaving kids with a sense of dread and physical illness even.
Yeah, and pediatrician and single mom of two, Dr. Allison Mitzner, is the author of Calm and Confident Parenting. She joins us now with her top signs of back to school anxiety and how parents can help their kids cope. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
All right, let's get right into it. How can you tell as a parent if your child is experiencing anxiety about going back to school?
This is very normal and quite common. Some kids will tell their parents that they're nervous or scared, but often it's signs that you may not necessarily think of. They may have a headache, they may have a stomach ache, they may be sleeping differently or not sleeping as well, eating changes, and some might just get cranky and irritable. And often this comes a week or two before school, but does resolve quickly soon after as they get adjusted. But if it does continue, you do really want to be sure you check in with your pediatrician and they can evaluate further.
Sure. Well, let's talk about it. So you say first off, it's so important to talk with your child before school starts because it can really be hard for kids to open up and talk about their feelings. What are your suggestions on how parents can have that conversation and where does it start? What do they say?
Yeah, you want to start early before that so you can get them calm before because they are going to be nervous. We're all nervous when we start. So I would suggest not just starting with what's making you nervous, but the positives and the negatives. Ask them what they're excited about, what they like, get them excited for school. And then you can ease in and say, is there anything making you nervous, scared? And then you have the tools for that and kind of get them familiar with that. The other thing is to remind them most kids go through this, they're not alone. And I find sometimes even a parent telling them about experiences they had starting school, if you remember. If you don't remember, talk about a first day of a job. And then they can relate to that very easily.
I feel like everyone remembers their school jitters, right?
Yes.
I used to be excited because you get to wear your new outfit. And
I was never excited.
All right, next you say, but we didn't have the pandemic. All right, so next you say play out scenarios with your child to ease some of those unknowns and the mystery of going to a new school or a new school year. So we know that the fear of unknown can be scary for kids and even adults. So what are some examples of playing things out with them?
Right. And there's so many unknowns, right? You might have a new school, not just from moving. Kids going from elementary to middle school or middle school to high school, it's all brand new. There's new teachers. Some kids get nervous. It's a new commute. So I would say play out the first day of school if you want with your child, or run through the commute, get the bus driver's name, ask to meet the teachers. If it's a new school, check it out yourself. All these things that might make it more familiar for them so it's all not so new on that first day. That really helps.
So let me ask you this. Your child is concerned. Your first instinct is to say, don't worry, everything's going to be okay. But you said that's not what you should say. So how should you handle that conversation?
Right. You don't want to minimize their feelings. So saying, don't worry, there's no reason to be nervous. They might truly have a reason to be nervous. I mean, we all get nervous in new situations that are unknown. So you'd want to acknowledge their feelings, not dismiss them, and let them know that their feelings are real and valid, and then work with them on those situations of what's causing the stress.
Okay, you also say to keep the communication open. Why is that important, and what do you actually mean by that?
You want them to, most kids aren't going to want to talk about their feelings and scary topics like that to grown-ups or even their own parent. So you want to kind of bring it out of them and talk to them, even if it's a couple minutes a day. I would say daily, ask them how they're feeling. Older kids might blow you off and not want to, but the more you talk to them, especially your older kids and teens, they know that you're there for them and not other things that are more important. So they'll really open up, and then you can start to ask them what's on their mind and things like that. And we know that kids really want their parents in times of stress to help them answer questions, solve problems, and just be there for them.
All right, one last question before we let you go. You talk about how parents are, role models for kids, but they also have anxious feelings too. So what can you do for the adults that are dealing with those feelings?
Yeah, we are our kids' biggest role models for sure. So you want to have healthy habits and coping skills for your own stress release. So the same diet, exercise, sleeping well. You want to do all these things as a role model for your kids. You know, sleep is my number one. If you don't sleep as well, you're anxious, you're irritable. Moving really is a great mood booster. So not only as a role model, but to have your kids do these things as well.
All right. Well, school is right around the corner. Dr. Mitzner, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your tips today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.